These teachers are exhausted, not just from their long working hours, but because of parents. They face repeated late-night calls, abuse on social media, and even legal action. South Korea's teachers say parental harassment has left them on the brink of burnout. For several weeks, they've been protesting in front of the National Assembly building, demanding better legal protections from accusations of child abuse.
Korean child protection laws prohibit emotional violence. But this term is vague and problematic. The teachers are punished for disciplining problem students.
This couple are both teachers and say working conditions are close to unbearable.
I know a lot of teachers who've been harassed by parents. They get a lot of calls and they feel disheartened. This has to stop.
This wave of anger follows the suicides of 3 teachers, including Lee Min-so, a 23-year-old who was found dead in a cupboard in her classroom in July. Lee described the daily harassment she suffered in her diary. Her cousin shows us her room. There are cards and drawings her students gave her before her death.
Some of the students said things like, "Good luck, miss. We are so happy to have a teacher like you. Thank you for teaching us what we did not know."
Lee was clearly loved by her students, but harassment from parents drove her to take her own life.
Parents harassed her at school every time there was an issue. In her diary, my cousin talks about feeling helplessness in front of the students, about the tension in her relationship with parents and the pressure of the workload.
Despite the protests, Lee's cousin doesn't hold out much hope that her death will lead to lasting change.
We live in a society where trust has been broken, where academic success is everything. It has turned parents and school principals into monsters.
According to a South Korean teachers' union, 1 in 10 teachers have considered committing suicide due to the demands placed on them by the country's highly competitive education system. Teachers typically work twice as many hours as their counterparts in France, and they must contend with relentless pressure from parents who are obsessed with their child's performance. This student has only just arrived home from school, but he is already preparing for evening classes.
It's a little difficult, but the teachers at the evening classes are all very nice. I feel good when I can answer a tricky question.
Yeonsu's additional schooling costs €1,000 a month. Despite that, an overwhelming majority of Korean children attend these private so-called cram schools.
In Korea, since most students go to evening classes, I feel that if my child doesn't do anything, he will be left behind. But I am against the idea of sending my children to cram schools.
On a typical day, a student gets up at around 7 a.m, goes to school from 8 till 2 in the afternoon, does homework, and then moves on to cram school classes at 6:30 p.m. Yeonsu takes this route to cram school every evening, where he meets his classmates for the second time that day. It's dark outside by the time the classes end at 9 p.m.
Today I had lots to do. It was really tough, but everything went well. It's true that it's a bit long, but I'm not complaining. I know some students whose classes are even longer.
Like many students his age, Yeonsu never goes to bed before 11 p.m. The roots of South Korea's cutthroat education system lie in the military regimes that ruled the country from 1933 until 1979.
Under the military dictatorship, the government and education system were highly authoritarian, and this led to tensions in society, which in turn led to complaints against teachers.
민원이라든지 이런 방식으로 드러나면서
Military rule helped create an unenviable legacy, the world's highest suicide rate in public education.
11% of teachers die by suicide, but I think that's an underestimate. A recent case at a primary school was classified as an accidental fall, but in reality it was suicide.
The South Korean government says it will launch a helpline and require parents to talk to the school principal before speaking directly with their child's teacher. Educators say those measures are a promising first rough draft.